What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Casually Chelsea show. A very entertaining game of football that we watched today, but we're going to be saving the football talk for World Cup talk for later on this week. Today, I'm here accompanied with Alex and the rest of the panel, which will be coming soon. I am Marshalldbdx, your host. Before we go on and continue the show, make sure you guys are liking the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on all the things that we'll be discussing, which we will be discussing quite a few things today. And yeah, leave a super chat or super thanks if you would like, not necessary at all. And then make sure you check out the links in the description to help out all the content creators that help make this channel what it is. We got Carlito in the chat, Jose in the chat. Big up to you guys, Lukaka. What a player. Yeah, that we definitely feel that one. But yeah, let's go ahead and just get this show on the road. First thing I want to talk about really quickly, we can touch on this. We kind of already talked about it last week, but this is an update that they had. And here is the tweet that we are going to talk about. So Ronaldo apparently not ruled out. Simon Phillips pretty much quoting Graham Bailey here, saying Chelsea management not convinced on Cristiano Ronaldo fit, but Todd Boehly is yet to completely rule out the move, which to be fair, I wouldn't rule it out either. You should always have your options open. I think, Alex, you probably agree on that. But yeah, guys, what are your thoughts on this update on the whole Ronaldo thing? I guess it gives us some clarity.
Don't really care. Yeah, they're not going to sign him. No way.
Well, what makes you, I guess, so certain that they're not going to sign him?
Because he can't play for an English top club anymore.
Fair enough.
He's 37 years old. I mean, why would he be expected to play at a team that has aspirations of winning major trophies? He's 37, man. It is what it is. It's not disrespecting. His career has been amazing. But You're 37. You're not supposed to be playing football anymore.
I mean, Modric is still playing football, and we've seen him in the past few days, and he's playing midfield too.
Well, I think it's a different thing.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Ronaldo that's keeping him afloat and keeping him relevant in the modern day football is the fact that last season, despite the results of United, right? United didn't do too hot, but Ronaldo did. He scored 18 goals. He was up there, you know. So maybe people are still holding hopeful that he can do that for Chelsea. But to be honest with you, after that interview, I don't really want to touch him within a 6-foot pole. And we have the likes of attackers like Sterling and Aubameyang that I think, given the right formation, given the right tactic, given the right players around them, they could probably do fine. I don't think we really need to bring in a Ronaldo. We also have Nkunku coming in at the end of the summer. So I don't know. I feel like I'm only touching on this simply because like it did just happen. There is some update on it. The confusion was, in one post they say they want him, and then the next they say they don't. You know, so this one, I guess, gives us a little bit of a clear picture. I don't know if you guys wanted to add anything.
Do you anticipate the executive branch being entirely transparent? Why? They're not obligated to be.
Probably not. I mean,
I'm sure that every fan and every content creator wants the team and the club and the management to be honest with us all the time. The reality is they don't want to be honest all the time. It's bad business.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're definitely more honest than the Roman regime. I can say that. I feel like with the Roman regime, we were left out in the dark a lot.
That was intentional. Which,
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't mind our news, our business kind of being out there, as long as, I guess, we actually pull through with it and we don't get another Rafinha, we don't get another Koundé, we don't get another so on and so forth, you know. But
it all depends. It all depends on what's going on in the summer. If some players requested to leave and they did not leave in the summertime and they still pursuing to leave in January. If Pulisic is true wants to leave Chelsea in January, and if Ziyech wants to leave Chelsea in January.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, if that's the case, then, you know, we're definitely going to be bringing players in. And I get why there is links with Ronaldo. I really don't think it's going to happen. But
I don't think it's going to happen either.
But like,
yeah,
dude, like I saw the Pulisic thing this morning. I was like, oh shit. So
don't enlighten me what the Pulisic thing is, because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the Man United wants to buy
United wants to loan.
Yeah, loan or buy, whatever. Yeah, the United wants them.
So United and Bayern Munich are interested.
Bayern Munich consider it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if we're doing that, if Ziyech, I don't think Ziyech will ever play for Chelsea again. With these two players, one of them definitely leaving, the other one maybe, then you have to replace them in January. It can't be a thing where we just bite the bullet for 4 months. Injuries to this team in particular happen all the time, and if we're losing 2 attackers, you need to add, and it can't be in the summer.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing I can tell if Ronaldo could be an option, a short-term option. That's all the only thing is. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I don't think so.
How's your shoulder, buddy? You all right?
He's feeling it. Annoying.
Yeah, I can.
There you go.
I can tell you're a little upset. Sorry, man. No, it just it sucks. My dad.
Yeah, I bet.
It's awful. It's awful. So feel for you, man.
Yeah. No, for sure. We wish Alex a speedy recovery. I'm sure he wants to go out, play football in the World Cup again, but he's gonna have to wait. But
at least you know how injury gets injured, like shoulders in football.
Yeah, he's like Ziyech right now, man, with the shoulder injury. But with the whole Pulisic thing, like, I mean, if I understood you guys correctly, because I was a little distracted while I was listening, you would want to get someone in the summer, I believe is what you guys said, or you want to get someone in January, because the thing is too, like, look, next season, if Pulisic were to go next season, we would have an Nkunku that could play on that left side, right? Not left. No,
we're talking about January. We're not talking about.
Yeah, no. The reports are that they want to leave now.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, so yeah, if they were to leave in January, we have Sterling that can hold us off in the left wing, don't you think? And I hate to say it, I mean Mason Mount, but all that.
No, because it's not enough. It's just nowhere near enough. You need 2 players to every position, and I'm not talking about a player that can play 2 positions. I'm talking about 2 players that can play 1 position. This is not an addition by subtraction situation where we're better off without Ziyech. No, we still need his minutes, his potential minute contribution. Because again, this team gets injured more than any other team. You have to plan for it. And I don't want another Watford game where we have 14 players and 2 of them on the bench are fucking keepers. Like, if we're going to lose 2 attackers, you have to bring them in. And I just don't see how that's beneficial to Chelsea to let these guys go, because it puts us in such a tight spot. We'll have to pay even more money because people will know we're desperate in January. It's risky, man. It's risky. Leverage is everything, man.
It's exactly depends how much Pulisic and Ziyech wants to leave Chelsea in January. Yeah. I think Ziyech definitely.
Yeah.
I actually think Pulisic is on the same boat, because to play good against Wolves, to play good against a couple of subs, and still not even being considered as a starter, I don't care, man. I pack my shit and I'm out.
I mean, if I could be honest with you guys, I've been maybe it's the World Cup. I have been turning around a little more on Pulisic, and by turning around on it, what I mean is that I feel that I'm willing to keep him until the summer and let him figure out the rest of the season. In the off chance, and this is the key part, in the off chance that he actually gets playtime, because I think for his career, it is best that he leaves. I think for him, he understands that. But
even for Chelsea, it's best if he leaves. If Chelsea manager does not use him as even as a sub or potential replacement, what's the point?
He's a distraction. He's a total
distraction. For what? It's another place that manager could use, and he's just drinking his squad.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if we're talking about who benefits from what, look, these players, none of them valued the club over their own career. Why would they? This is their job, and I don't value my company that I work for over my own career. If I get a better job, okay, where I don't have to move, I would consider it. Now, I probably wouldn't do it, but this is the same thing where you have to look. You have to understand that these guys, they don't actually care about the club as much as you think, and the club, inversely, should never care that much about each individual player and prioritize that over the health and wealth of the present and future of the club and the benefits of the club. Like if we can't buy a player in January that's not just a replacement but a better player, don't do it. Don't do the players any favors. Do not do them any favors, even if they no. But in the summer, yeah, Alex. In the summer, yeah, because we'll have time. But this was just thrown.
This is just shooting yourself in the leg in January if that happens.
Yeah.
I don't care how much he cries he wants to leave. If we cannot bring anybody, I don't care. He needs to stay.
Yeah. But we'll find a new club in June because we'll be able to buy other players. I think Raphael is still on the table. By the way, incredible player.
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, we're not going to do him any favors if it's detrimental to Chelsea in January. It's just there's no way. It's stupid. It's stupid management. So
I just wonder if if the whole club wants the completely new, even players, not only management, just even players that
maybe.
I don't know. Could be.
Yeah. I mean,
I was never sold on Pulisic. I was never sold on Pulisic even before that, and I still not am. He's a decent player. He's better than what we got. Some of them.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's Chelsea level at any point or any other top 4 club.
Alex, if this is your club, right? Wouldn't you want your own people?
It depends. If I had the quality players in it, it's not like I'll have to change it. But the way it looks like, for example, like in the January, in the summer transfer window, some players wanted to leave, and 6 months later, none of those players been convinced to stay by the owners. So that means I don't think the owners are interested in them as much as people might think. You know what I'm saying? So if after the 6 months after they request the transfer window, they did not go on the transfer window, and 6 months didn't change anything, it's not only show that they're not valued by the by the manager, it actually shows that they're not valued by the club, because it was much as what's his name, owner is not wants to be involved in the daily management or coaching of Chelsea. The owners see that, and Pulisic is one of them, especially if that's the Pulisic that could potentially make the Chelsea team in a better situation. But I don't think Todd Bowley sees it that way, so I don't know, man.
Even though he's American?
I don't think that shit works I don't think it has anything to do with it. I don't like people think that Pulisic actually that I don't think people understand that Pulisic. I understand that he's in the United States, but I don't think he's big in the United States as much as people think. He's not that big as a player in the United States.
Yeah.
Well, the sport's just not as big.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching the NFL right now. The NFL is way bigger in the United States. So, it just depends. Like, is he as popular as Odell Beckham Jr. in the United States? No. Is he as popular as Brady? No. He's nowhere near as popular as Brady. He's nowhere near as popular as Jason Tatum or LeBron. Like, no way, man.
I don't think he's even in the football conversation, soccer conversation, he's that in, because a lot of players over here, a lot of fans of football over here, they're not that big on him specifically. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still pull for the player or club from Europe, and he's not on that list.
Oh, for sure. The other thing, Alex and Marshall, I'll just say, I don't think he's very likable.
He's not.
I think he's just not.
I think that's because he's shy, but yeah, I know.
No, I think it's his dad.
It's all those
okay,
things.
I can see that too. Yeah.
And it's the fact that he's a novelist, and the fact that he does these thinly veiled criticisms of the club.
Yeah.
And it's like under his breath, but not really. And I'm not with it, because it's just him complaining all the time. And like, I've grown up with a couple people like that, and they're no longer in my life because I can't stand it. That type of shit, where nothing's good enough, and you don't want to earn it. You just want it. You just want it.
Either say it or don't say it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
fair
with
enough.
you.
Or do something about it, you know? So in this case, he's trying to do something about it. We'll see what happens with Pulisic. But good
LeBron
update. I didn't
James.
realize this. Yeah, I didn't realize this was even happened today. So
Yeah,
big up
happened
to you
today.
guys. Thank you for that info. But let's go ahead and talk about a few smaller topics that we have here. So there was a friendly announced for the 11th of December between Aston Villa. That's what, a few weeks away. The World Cup is still going to be happening. I don't know what team. That's 2 weeks away. I don't know what team Chelsea are going to field. It's going to be what, Ruben Loftus-Cheek,
The ones that didn't go to the
Kepa.
World Cup.
Yeah.
Or the ones that gonna return from World Cup.
Yeah.
Is Reece James going to be available? I don't even know.
There
I
has
don't know. We'll
intentionally not been. Well, Fofana for sure is going to play. Like there hasn't been updates on purpose.
Look, if England
Probably a
get
good
kicked
thing.
out of in the next round, they're gonna
possible.
be there. It's short trip from UAE to Qatar.
Yeah, I mean, like you can't have these guys not doing anything. Like they're returning to training on I think Monday or Tuesday. So like they can't. You can't give these guys 8 weeks off because that's so long.
No, they not. By the way, even if they going up all the way, still they're not
Thank you,
getting.
Oliver. Mhm.
They're still not going to the take that much time off if they kicked out early. They're going directly into the Cobham. Like they're going straight on training. There's no vacation after it. There's no scheduled vacation after it.
I mean,
Because
let's
it
be
would
very
actually,
clear.
now that I
United
think
States
about it, it
don't
would actually
play,
be
like, they've only played like
Regular
one game
season.
a week. Yeah, they played like one game a week, dude. This is not some compressed youth tournament where they play 3 games in one day. Like, get out of here.
Now that I
This
think
is
about
just
it, it would
normal
actually
business. This is just normal football.
it would actually be a little convenient for Potter if I mean I'm not trying to say I want this to happen. I mean I kind of do, but if England were to get knocked out, I mean Potter gets some time to work with his minerals and stuff.
That's what I said. That's why I want all the players that are playing for any national team get kicked out early.
Yeah. Except Ziyech, he could stay doing what he's doing, but
Pulisic,
we don't even use him. Pulisic too.
Hey, look at this one, Alex. Jorginho's been kicked out the whole time. He's gonna be ready, man.
I'm ready for those progressive passes, Jorginho. I hope we progress that, man.
Oh my god!
It's interesting to see. These are a few of the players that are going to be playing. Hopefully, we'll see.
I want to
Hutchinson.
see Chukwuemeka start playing.
Yeah,
and Chukwuemeka too. Is he recovered?
So
yeah,
Alex,
apparently
he was
started
injured. That's why he wasn't playing. Alex,
Yeah,
I know that.
He was injured. Yeah. Because it was like you would think, like if you just looked on paper, you'd be like, "Oh, the guy just lost his minutes." Like, no, it wasn't his fault. Like it wasn't a form thing. Yeah.
He was
the
slow
last game he got hurt
into the team, and that's fine by me.
Yeah.
I don't think Sterling is going to be Chelsea player by the end at the end of this year.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
You want to elaborate on that one? Because I think
I got a feeling he's not connecting with the new manager.
Oh, I don't think he's connecting with the club.
Yeah, well, that's my thing. I don't think he's connecting. I think there's something there. He's not happy. I will potentially could see some kind of swap and thing.
Well,
we didn't pay
he could
too
go
much.
Back to Liverpool. He'd go back to Liverpool.
No, I think he might will go to somewhere in Europe. I don't think.
I don't know, man. I feel like Sterling is going to do just fine. It's just a matter of like Potter has to figure out a good way to play him with good formation. Stop playing him at the wing back. Put him in good spots.
Put him in the center. Put him in the center like he was before.
Yeah.
Let him hold on to the ball. He's
whatever.
the only one who can do it at Chelsea right now.
Yeah.
Don't put him on the wide.
There are some people still out there slandering Raheem Sterling, and you see how he plays. Well, obviously not against the United States. That
was such a bad game.
That was a terrible game for England, and for
Iran, the neutrals.
For Iran,
it was great for America.
It was great.
It was great for America, but for neutral, like it was so boring to watch.
Oh yeah, but intentionally,
Probably.
like that's what dude. America did that on purpose. Like totally.
But for against Iran, for England, he played really well. There's potential. Like there's still a good player there. I mean, there's no.
But that's what. Do you see how he plays with number 9? He has to have a number 9 to play well. and it's been proven. He plays better with a suitable number 9.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have to see how that goes. I hope you're wrong, but we'll see.
No,
Man.
I hope I'm not wrong. I hope rebuild it completely.
I like Sterling.
Rebuilding. I didn't like him. I didn't like him in the first place, but he convinced me that he can play under Tuchel.
Well, he can play. He can play.
Yeah, I just didn't like. No, under Tuchel, he showed me extra something that I didn't think he had it, and it's some kahunas that I think that he actually did not show, that he doesn't have to be such a needy, so many chances to score the goals. He can do a little nitty-bitty dirty job in the midfield and hold the ball. He done it under Tuchel. But the minute the Tuchel left, that new PE teacher been sending him to every corner of this class, man.
PE teacher.
Oh, man.
Alex, that's a new one.
That is a new one. I can see it too. It's a very fitting one. I like it.
It is good. It's good.
He's new at the job, trying to figure out the names of the students.
Oh my god.
Where their favorite positions are. All right. Well.
Hey, I want to mention one thing.
Go for it.
It's because we're still talking about international football. And this was interesting. So when America tweeted out the table and the next round of games, Iran versus the United States, they just included the emblem in the middle of their flag. And that was intentional. That was a political statement by America, and it pissed off the entire fan base. It pissed off their government, and as a retort, they're actually trying to get America kicked out of the World Cup for it.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Can you I'm sorry, my wife was talking to me at the same time. Can you repeat what you said?
Yes. So the emblem in the middle of the Iran flag, America removed it as a form of protest against certain, whatever I don't want to get into the injustice, but it's a form of protest, and it was all intentional. And they got caught. But I think their intention was to get caught. But now Iran is telling FIFA that America should be kicked out of the World Cup for it.
Oh.
It won't happen, but I think.
Yeah.
Silly. But all right.
By the way, that thing, it's
go for it.
Without it looks like Mexico flag. By the way.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's not Iran's flag.
Does a little
Maybe
bit.
the guy that software engineer, not enough software in
maybe Mexican
development, and he just used the Google. You know how people in the newspaper using like Mendy from City, and they put the Mendy goalkeeper saying that in the prison and stuff like that.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, that was so bad. I hope that guy got fired, man. That was so stupid.
That's the same thing. That's the same thing that possibly could happen with that.
Yeah.
So actually, no. You would think so, but the United States came out and said we did it on purpose. So, jeez Louise.
I wouldn't pass it by. This is the country that was raised 50 cents, and he's the pettiest person on the planet Earth.
Oh yeah, 50. Oh yeah, dude, the guy's the king of trolls, the king of the trolls.
I mean, to buy for all the front rows from Ja Rule's contract just for him to sing in front of the empty.
That is petty. Yeah.
Tell Floyd Mayweather he'd give him $100,000 if he could read a page of a book.
I remember that. I forgot about that.
Is unbelievable.
Oh, 50's the best, dude. He's so funny.
Yes.
Come on, man.
So, boys, we got a few transfer rumors that I do want to discuss. I mean, I don't really know too many of these players. Maybe you guys know them better than I do, but we'll just kind of run through these probably a little quickly. Okay. We'll see. But there's some tiny rumors that have been going out here and there. First thing we got here is Chelsea from the Zarganzeller here are tracking a 16-year-old fullback, Tristan Rowe, who is playing 5 years above his age group at Aston Villa. Does anyone know who this guy is?
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Alex, you want to tell us a little bit?
Oh, no. I thought I was reading. No, I was reading actually the tweet under it, and I know who's the Ukrainian player is, but I never mind.
Yeah,
so
maybe it's no worries. I just
Mudryk. No, yeah. Is how do you pronounce that, Alex? Is that Mudryk?
Yeah, Mudryk.
Mudryk.
Yeah, my mom is from Ukraine, so I can.
Okay, there you go.
I speak Ukrainian.
I don't know who that person is.
Yeah,
but-
that kid is from Shakhtar, and
Shakhtar
he's a
Donetsk.
kick and running player. I don't think he's anything special, but
Okay. Tristan Rowe might be like maybe a right back replacement, something in the future that we might need for Reece James, because we definitely need to cover on that position. But I don't know too much about him. This is just the latest news. So there's something out there. Chelsea are still tracking youngsters, as we can see. The next thing that I found here. Oops, don't close that. Let's close this. Okay, 1 second. There we go. Chelsea FC News reported here. Chelsea and Arsenal have added Porto's Brazilian winger Pepe to their short transfer list. Again, I don't know. When I saw Pepe, I was like, the center back, like
from Portugal.
yeah, like are we really doing this? Like I shit a brick for a second, but I don't know. We do need wingers, especially now that we're talking about maybe the potentials of Ziyech and Pulisic leaving. Who knows if Sterling's going to stay? We don't know what's happening with Mount. A lot of things are up in the air with Havertz as well. So a lot of things that are going to be happening in Chelsea very soon. But any of you guys know who Pepe is? I don't know who Pepe is.
Yeah, he's good.
Does chat know who Pepe is? Is he good?
Yeah, he's good.
Does he look promising? Would you take him to Chelsea in the future?
Not right now. No. He's not good. He's
In
not
the
that
future?
good. Yeah, not right now, no.
Right, fair enough. Yeah, all right, let's go to the next one. I believe right here. This is something a little bit more familiar to me. So Simon Phillips here reporting, a second source has now told me that today Chelsea are keeping tabs on Leeds goalkeeper Ilan Meslier, which tells me that our interest is more than legit. I believe this is also kind of in response to what's going to happen with Mendy, what's going to happen if we don't get Robert Sanchez, which I believe is our first choice. There have been links that we talked about last week about with Jordan Pickford, now Meslier. Now, personally, I think Meslier is a good goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a very talented goalkeeper. I just think he's a little too young to be a Chelsea starter, let alone maybe a second choice. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about Meslier. He's good. He's got talent. I can see the talent there.
I just don't think
is
it's
this a starter? I don't think it's a starter.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Yeah.
no. I mean, if we need to get that Portuguese goalkeeper.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because the next bit of news was on him. Chelsea make first contacts with Porto goalkeeper Diogo Costa. Manchester United also in the running. Brought to you here by Matthew Moreto, but this is Simon Phillips tweeting this as well. I think, look, I'm not opposed to Meslier, but I would say Costa is probably my first choice if we were to go for another goalkeeper that maybe isn't Sanchez. I don't know. We'll have to see, but do you agree with Alex Carlito on going for Costa?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. That is undisputed. We move. We move.
No,
I think he's a talented
waiting for
keeper.
you.
I need to see more though.
I'm waiting for you to get to a certain French midfielder.
Rabiot is not coming.
Yeah, come on, Alex. Come on,
Rabiot?
man.
You want Rabiot, bro?
I love Rabiot.
I mean, he's having a good World Cup so far, but is
He's a
he?
good player. He's a good player. He's always been a good player.
I don't know. I feel like he's had a lot of issues in his clubs before, and he's finally happy at Juve because he gets to start. He gets to be playing full minutes and be like the main focus in that team. I think if you bring him to Chelsea, the minute you rotate him with Jorginho, he starts cursing in French and shit, and throwing baguettes on the field. Like I don't know. Like I don't know about this guy, man.
Marshall, respectfully, if he's happy, he wouldn't have 5 months left on his contract.
You could argue that's Juve. You could argue that's Juve just, being cheap and waiting. I don't know. They can't afford a contract offer. I don't know.
There's reports that
struggling for
he's a
money
mama
right now.
boy, so
Yeah, he's a mama's
That too.
boy, and he wants a lot of money, but I'm down. I think he's great.
Yeah,
I think you guys need to understand one thing. If we sign in somebody, it's gonna be youngers.
Oh,
We ain't
yeah,
sign-
yeah.
We're not signing.
it's
established
looking like it
players.
with this trend. All these players are very young players. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying?
So
Like, you're
Edson
everything
seeing
we'll
Alvarez,
that.
link with.
Edson Alvarez, I think, is like 24. He'd probably be about as
Mhm.
old as we go. Ruben Neves, all these guys, Moises Caicedo is like 20. Ruben Evans, what is he? Is he 22?
25.
25? Gotcha.
He'd probably be one of the older ones on
That's
that list.
probably be as old as we're going to go because they want a sustainable project for a long time. Yep, Ruben Evans is 25. He's also really good. Fuck, he's really good.
Yeah, he's solid. Yeah, I would love to have him at Chelsea. But on the topic of the young, transfers and all that stuff, this is something that has arisen lately, and I think there is some merit to it. We could see Bowley making a move. But let's talk about Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice. Look, they're having a decent World Cup. But, yeah, right here, Matt Law saying, Chelsea are expected to hold talks over Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham in coming weeks, but they are not currently in pole position for either player. Would you guys take both of them? One of them? I personally, I'd probably just take Jude and find someone else for Declan. I wouldn't mind both. If the price is a decent price, again, it's not my money, but I think the 100,000 for Declan was a little outrageous. For Bellingham,
are we trying to get England international at Chelsea?
It looks like it. It looks like it.
Look, all right. There are two things I want to say. Number one, Matt Law is reporting this. He's saying we're not in pole position for Declan Rice, and then one of his fellow journalists, Simon Phillips, is saying if 5 clubs are in for Declan Rice and Chelsea is one of them, he will only go to Chelsea. So you're going to have to explain to me this, how you have 2 well-known journalists, respected journalists in England, or at least used to be, and they're saying the complete opposite thing. One is saying that the only club Declan Rice wants to go to is Chelsea, and the other is saying Chelsea is not in pole position to sign Declan Rice. I'm sorry. Who are they talking to?
I don't think Chelsea's the only club.
I don't think they're talking to anybody. I think this is all conjecture.
I don't think he's only going to Chelsea. He will prefer Chelsea, but he will be open to other options. He definitely not ending his career at West Ham. That's a fact.
No way. No, yeah, I agree with you.
So I just don't think, like, in a pole position, I don't know what the pole is. I'm not a stripper, but whatever it is, man, it's. I think if we have a,
God, no.
If he has the same contract on the table between a couple of clubs, he will choose Chelsea, and that's a fact. But I think so. At the end of the day, don't care. I just think that there's a plenty of players that can be. That's what I'm looking for. If you want a defensive midfielder, go to the league that produces them the best, which is France and what's the name? And Portugal. That's the league that produces the best defensive midfielders all the time. It's physical league. It's quite similar to Premier League. Don't go to the freaking Bundesliga where it's too much, whatever it is.
There's
definitely not La Liga.
There's a lot of space in
a lot of space.
These players, they look a lot better in Germany. The other thing, dude, Alex, Jude Bellingham's price tag's like 150 million. We're not.
That's a little crazy. Well, yeah, I don't know about 150 million. Yeah.
No players.
Okay, look at this way. Look at this way. I don't think it's 150, but I think they will go for 100. That's a fact.
Yeah, no, I'm not throwing out the number.
I know what you're saying, but I'm trying to explain you the situation the way Chelsea might be looking at it. Because he's a youngster, and the way we build in a contract to a serious value of the player, the weekly wages are substantially smaller. So, for example, if you get in Bellingham, let's say 100, they agree on 100, right? Let's say they agree on 100. And they get him on 7-year contract, not less. And they will get him on under 200, 250 K a week for 7 years. That could be, you see the way that Bowley can see it, and that will be his prime ages. That's what I'm talking about.
I think it'd be more.
I think it's a lot of money, but I don't think he's choosing Chelsea. I think he would like to go to Real Madrid or stuff like that. But look, that's just one of those conversations that money the big price is not always like, bow, in your face.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And another thing, you can pay it in installments. That's such big amount. It's not paid in one time. You pay 30 million a year for 4 years, and it's like, come on, it's a credit card. Like, oh, I forgot to pay, blah blah blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? 20 plus, 20 minus, whatever. You see what I'm saying? That's why we paid for Fofana 50 when they ask 80.
Yeah.
It's all the smoke. 100 mil, not gonna happen. 150, even definitely.
Less likely, yeah.
Yeah, but here's where I think that the price can be driven up beyond any sort of release clause. I think the price can be driven up because a lot of teams want him. It's Chelsea, it's Madrid, it's Manchester United, it's Liverpool. It's a man, dude. Fucking man.
There's a high demand for this player. Yeah.
I mean, you have 6 clubs, 6 of the richest clubs in the world. They all want this one player because he's 20 years old. He's good. He's gonna be great, and he's in a position where, and Dortmund's in a position where they can charge whatever the hell they want. So I do think it's going to be run up.
They always did that, and none of the clubs actually paid what they asked.
Oh, come on. Ousmane Dembele, 119 million.
Yeah, that was the only one, and the stupidest thing ever. Yeah, that was the one.
It was crazy, but yeah, that's
Sanchez. They wanted 150. It's like 150. It's the favorite number.
Well, it's because it's the next number. It's the
Same
next
thing with
number.
Haaland too.
No, the thing is that they actually asked for Dembele 180, and they went to 100 and whatever.
Hey, remember this video, boys and girls, because when Moukoko leaves that club, it's probably going to be 150 million as well.
Who?
Yusuf Moukoko.
Are we just making up sounds?
No, I am I saying the wrong player? Oh my god! Now you have that. Now you're like making me want to check. Yusuf Moukoko. Yes, yes. Yusufa. I don't know. Moukoko. Yeah.
That sounds like a made-up
K-O-K-O.
That's what I said. It's
not.
like a
He's a
freaking
player.
sound.
It's like Goose, Braba, Woosta. I was watching Bad Boys 2 the other day. Woosta.
Oh, he's an actual player.
No, I'm
years
kidding.
old.
I know. No, I just.
See,
the
guys,
funny thing is
talking about.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that American names probably sound funny to people not from America.
True.
Everybody's weird. That's the thing. Is everybody thinks that like you can't make fun of anybody. You should be able
Yes,
to make fun
Smith
of
is one
everybody.
of the hardest names ever. Last names, Mr. Smiths and Johnsons. And
Hey, Alex, you want to know what the most popular last name is in America? It's Williams.
yeah,
I know that.
a lot of Williams on the
I
end.
know that. A lot of Williams and a lot of buildings here.
Oh yeah.
That's all I know. But all right, I mean, with the Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham thing, look, I take Bellingham. You can keep Rice. I'm okay on the Rice. I have enough Rice at home, so I'm okay. We don't need any more Rice here. But I mean,
just think
if we can get a good
if-
package deal for it, maybe, you know.
I actually think the just getting Rice or Bellingham, it's the halfway job because both of them need player beside them.
Yep.
And they do complement
yeah.
each other, kind of the way they play.
You think so?
Yeah.
Even after the US game?
Yusufa Moukoko. He's a German player.
Yusufa Moukoko. Thank you.
Oh
He is
yeah,
18
he's
years
definitely
old.
German.
No, he was born in Cameroon. He's a striker, 5'10", 18 years old, plays for Dortmund in Germany.
But yeah,
Thank you for the pronunciation in the chat. Oh my days. Yo Sofa.
Yo,
This
Sofa.
guy.
yo, Sofa.
God of Frogs. Yo, Sofa.
Appreciate it. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this. But there's definitely been more news on this, especially with the whole, the World Cup happening and such. On other news, let's see what we got here. What do I have next? we have, there we go, Christopher Vivell. That's finally happening now, or apparently it is. But yeah, Christopher Vivell, I'm sorry. Christopher Vivell is on the verge of becoming Chelsea's new technical director. The move is in its final stages with the last details to be clarified. Todd Bowley pushed for him, and then we got Fabrizio Romano with a little bit of news as well. Chelsea will unveil Christopher Vivell as new technical director soon. Never in doubt after Joe Shields, Lawrence Stewart, and Paul Wood-Stanley.
Wow,
actually,
Shakespeare in disguise. Vivell, unveil Vivell.
Hey, Alex, what do you
good
think the last minor details are? Like a Mercedes Benz or like an apartment or something? What kind of details are we talking about here? A girl on the side?
Don't know.
I mean, what's going on here? What details?
I can tell you. You know that we owe like Chelsea, one of the owners is Swiss, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And guess whose Vivell is?
Is Vivell
Swiss, right?
Okay.
That's not surprising.
I think maybe something in Swiss.
Maybe some cheese. I don't know.
Maybe a Swiss bank account is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. The other type of Swiss.
Yeah. Is it Switzerland, right?
Yeah. It could be like, a little bit of some shares in a company or something like that as well. It could be something like that. Who knows? I don't know how these big businessmen run.
I'm not interested. I want a director, football director.
Yeah.
I know this is not what he's gonna be on. I'm looking for what the other guy does in the summer.
Right now, the director of football operations is David Barnard at Chelsea.
Yeah. I'm talking about the one. I want that guy from Liverpool.
It's gonna be a while.
Michael Edwards.
Yes, but it looks like
apparently we're gonna have to wait till
United.
summer for him. That would be a travesty if that would have happened. No, I hope he comes to Chelsea. I mean,
there's a link of him with United today, actually, but I don't know how accurate they are.
Yeah, hopefully it's not. But
unveil Vivell.
Listen, with this one, I hope it gets done before January because January is pretty much a month away, and we need to get moving. We need to make sure this guy is ready, prepared, has everything he needs, all the tools he needs to just get in that market and start getting us some good transfers that are going to be good for the future. Or I think the technical director is going to be more in charge of, I think, next window or the next.
Yes, I want to see the direction. Direction. A couple of signings will not actually tell me. I want to see the direction we're going to.
Like you were saying earlier, Alex, I think we're going to be seeing a lot. Yeah, a lot of the younger people.
The reason why I think that we're going to for all the youngers, we're not gonna go for the established players unless we try to fix the patch. That's why Ronaldo's coming in, but I don't think we will. And the reason why I don't think the way we are, because I think he likes to play physical game, quick press, whatever. Youngsters will listen to young manager. Established players don't. So true. I think that's the reason why we don't see the style of PE teacher yet, because we have too many old players, and all the students do not like to listen to PE teachers.
I mean,
I think that's
there's an
big
exception
factor
to the rule. The young coach.
Of course, it is exception to the
Bayern,
rule.
Yeah.
The guy at Bayern Munich, Nagelsmann, he's pretty good, but he has been around a while though. He quit football very early to become a manager, just like Thomas Tuchel did. All right, I got one more of me, Marshall. Then I gotta head out. So what's
I actually gotta head out too. So.
All right, no worries, boys. If you got to head out. But let's go ahead and move on to the next one then. We were talking about young players. This one's looking really exciting. I'm actually kind of excited for it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Let's talk about Arsen Zakharyan agreeing to personal terms. Let's go. So Chelsea have agreed personal terms with Arsen Zakharyan on the long-term contract, and it is sealed since last summer. Negotiations with Dinamo Moscow will continue to complete the deal in 2023. Chelsea are still feeling confident. So, look, I'm excited for this player. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of hype around him. Seems to be a very important part of Dinamo's current squad. You guys can probably tell me more about him. What are we thinking?
Alex, I'm sure, knows more than me. I know the guy's he's a creative player. I mean,
I like his directness. I like his directness.
Hell yeah.
And not directness of actually dribble, directness for passes.
Yeah.
He reminds me a little bit of proper midfielder. I'm not gonna tell you the names because the minute you say it's actually
you start saying compare that's stupid.
I just like the midfielder that actually go directly to pass versus carrying the ball, even though he can carry the ball. For me, it's the prospect of him play have that kind of caliber of player, which is fantastic for Chelsea.
You guys remember when Cesc was a little bit more athletic? There's those early balls, those creative early balls from Fabregas. I used to love that shit, man. He was such a different type of midfielder than the ones we've had for a while. Shit, 10 years. So, but
actually, I didn't think about Fabregas, by the way.
No, I know.
That's what I thought you were thinking. Actually,
no, that's not the player.
No. There's one very, very, very popular player that people have likened Arsen to, but it's way too early.
It's exactly. It's way too early. He needs to be developed still. I think around the players. He's 19, I think, or 20, something like that.
Oh, that's young. Wow. Okay. No,
but he already played. He already plays for the national team, and he has a lot more experience than some of how you say it, already established players. So
he's 19. He is 19, 6 feet tall, and the player he's likened to, I won't say.
There you go. We'll keep it a secret. Look, I'm excited for this guy, and I'm excited for Cassidy. Cassidy is doing really good in the Chelsea youth right now. So we'll see, man. Like, I don't want to get my hopes up too much. I don't want to overhype the youngsters either because they still have a lot to prove, as we see with the current team that we have right now. So we'll see. But this is good news. Chelsea are making big moves for some of these big name, like not big name, but these prospects that are. It's exciting, man. It's exciting. That's all I really have to say about that, really. But you guys have to head out?
Yeah, I have to.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Guys, if you want to check them out, they're both on Twitter, right? I believe Redneck Blue on Twitter, and then also Carlito. I don't know what your Twitter handle is, Carlito. I think it's Carlito, right?
I'm just the one that makes fun of Johnny Minerals all day.
You guys can find him on Twitter. But thank you guys. I appreciate you guys coming on, and thank you. Well, maybe we'll get the link out to you guys in the chat. We'll see. We'll see how the show goes today. We're running it by the scruff of the neck. But yeah, guys, thank you for coming on. Appreciate it.
I'll see you guys. Yeah, have a
big up, you guys. Big up, you guys. But all right, let's see what we got here, boys. So, Zakharyan. Hopefully you guys in chat are also excited about it as well. I'm a little excited about all these players that we're signing. So, listen, I don't mind the move to the youth, but as long as these people actually show up and play, and we play them properly. Look, what the boys were saying earlier, they got a really good point. Some of these older players, they have a hard time listening to the younger managers or the managers that haven't been proven. So there's like a missing link of respect there. So I get it. I don't disagree with that 100%. Some players, obviously, like there's an Aspie, maybe you could say Jorginho in there. They have respect for these managers. They respect their professionals in that sense. So there's not really much of that. But, these are athletes. Some of the greatest athletes in the world. They're going to have egos. This is bound to happen. So maybe going younger isn't a bad idea. So it's just make sure we're going for the right youngsters, right? But all right, let's move on to the next topic that we have here. 2 more topics, and I think I got everything covered for the week pretty much, minus that Pulisic thing. So big up to Carlito and Alex for pulling that for me. But let's go ahead and talk about the man, the myth, Ziyech, the Moroccan king, man. Having a good game today. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. We'll be doing a recap of all the Chelsea players that have played in match with week 2 tomorrow. Also, guys, make sure you're smashing that like button if you haven't already done so. So here we go for Fabrizio Romano. Hakim Ziyech on leaving Chelsea in January. It's hard to say, difficult to say. We don't know what will happen in the winter. tells Nos. I don't know. Is that the person interviewing? I have no idea. It's football, so it's difficult to say. He added, Chelsea were only open to let him leave on permanent deal last summer. So here's the thing with Ziyech. It's on the manager. It's really on the manager. If the manager wants to play him, I think Ziyech could perform for us. I really think. I think Ziyech and Pulisic. Wow. Sorry. Whoops. Didn't mean to say that, but it came out and it happens, but it's all good. Pulisic and Ziyech, both of these players, I believe, have deserved more playing time than Mason Mount and Havertz. But the manager just doesn't favor them for whatever reason. Maybe it's how they train. Maybe it's look, guys, it slipped. Okay, it slipped. Okay, it's so close. It is what it is. Freudian slip. But pretty much, dude, I fucking lost train of thought. Anyways, I would argue that Ziyech and Pulisic both deserve to have more playing time than Mason Mount and Havertz. Look, I don't really want to dwell on Mason Mount. Everyone and their mothers has talked about this kid to death this week. I don't want to add to it. There's not more I can add to it. We already talked about him last week and the whole contract deal and all that stuff. So if you want to see our opinions on the Mason Mount contract, tune into last week's episode of Casually Chelsea show. But for this one, listen, man, he should go for the sake of his own career. Obviously, he's not in the biggest favors for Potter. Chelsea have multiple times now treated him badly in the sense of keeping him on the bench despite having good performances. Maybe he gets one or two bad performances and he sits on the bench for the whole heap of games while players like Mount or Havertz get away with having multiple bad performances, yet they still get their playing time. So and he doesn't even show up as a sub that often for Potter. So you're looking at him right now at the World Cup, and if you're watching him, you're probably seeing what I saw maybe throughout Chelsea. He's got the ability. He's a good player, and I don't think any of us have ever denied he's not a good player, but it's just really unfortunate how this turned out. For his own good, he should leave the club. If he were to stay, I would want him to get more playing time, but that's likely not to happen. And if he's not going to get more playing time, there's no point in having his wages and having him just stay at the club. It's just, he's probably a great personality. He's been professional about this for the most part. Yeah, he has a little bit of an attitude problem. You know, he's bad boy Ziyech, whatever. But it's just, it's on Potter. It's on Tuchel. It's not really on Lampard. Lampard actually gave him his playing time. But yeah, I mean, that's on Potter. That's because front three against NUFC was absolutely shocking. Yeah. I think I feel bad for Ziyech. It's really unfortunate that this happened to him. And if he goes, I get it completely. I would like for him to stay, but he would need to play if he needs to stay. And he's not going to get playing time. I don't think under Potter. Something would need to happen drastically to like Mason Mount or Havertz for Potter to even play him. So it is what it is. By the way, guys, I did put out the link for you guys in the chat. I will have you guys on in just a minute. So if you're hanging out backstage, just give me a moment. Let's go over this last story, and then we'll go ahead and let you guys in and have your say on anything that we talked about today on the show. But let's go ahead and talk about the last topic that is not Ziyech, but the main topic of today's show, the one that I'm pretty happy about, Trevoh Chalobah. Matt Law coming out, fully deserved. Chalobah can count himself a bit unlucky. He didn't make a 26-man England World Cup squad, but pretty much he's retweeting here. Chelsea FC, Trev time, Chelsea. He's extended for Chelsea. I don't remember the details of the contract. I don't know what the salary is or whatever it is, but I believe it's now a 7-year contract. Hopefully you guys can correct me if I am wrong. It's a 7-year contract, and yeah, I guess better wages for him. We don't know what the wages are, but look,
let's have it right.
He's been doing well for Chelsea. Overall, his impact for the team has been a net positive. If you were to ask me, if you look at the whole grand scheme of it, not just a few select games, right, guys? We like to look at the whole picture. Just like the same thing we do for Mason, the same thing we do for Havertz, Timo, any player that we've talked about on this channel. Look at the whole picture. Look at the performances individually, criticize the individual performances, but then at the end of the day, at the end of the season, we look at the grand picture, the big picture. The big picture with Chalobah, the overall picture is that he's been very, very good for us. At his age, to be doing what he's doing, right next to Thiago Silva and learning under Thiago Silva and having these great performances under big teams like Man City, Liverpool, and in Champions League as well. Like, this kid has been performing. He's a talent for sure. Is he the best thing since sliced bread? I'm not going to say that, but he's definitely a good center back, especially coming from the French league that he played for a while. I think he played in Rennes. I think you guys keep telling me, and I keep forgetting. It's either Rennes or Florient, I believe. I don't remember. The name does escape me. I'm sorry. But he played really well in there. Came to this team. We thought he was going to be a DM. Tuchel puts him as a center back. Ends up playing really well in the beginning of the season. Lorient, thank you, Oliver. And now we're seeing the fruits of his labor. He still plays really well. Arguably one of our better center backs this season. It's giving, to be fair, giving Fofana a little bit of a run up for his money. Fofana has had some mistakes in him, similar to Chalobah, but I don't think Chalobah has nearly as many mistakes as Fofana has. Fofana wasn't necessarily in good form before he got injured. That's to be fair. I mean, he scored in that one game he got injured in. He was looking good that game, but prior to that, I don't think, in my opinion, he was in the best form under Tuchel. We'll see. Obviously, there's still the rest of the season. It's still too early to say. Like I said, look at the whole picture. But right now, we look at all the performances that Chalobah has had. There's not that many that I could say right now with chest are like absolutely terrible. This guy does not belong at Chelsea. He's horrible. He's been putting up very consistent performances and good ones. And at his age, it's very impressive. So good on him. He deserves his contract extension. He already had a contract extension last season, but I guess this is a renewed one. More time added because his performances have been fantastic. He waited. We were on the verge of losing him. Remember that, guys. In the summer, we were actually on the verge of losing Chalobah. I don't know if you guys recall this, but there was headlines saying that Chalobah is unsure about his future. We were signing Fofana. He felt like maybe he had to leave the club and all that. He decided to stay, talked to Tuchel, sorted it out, gets his minutes, proves himself in the minutes that he gets, which is what you need to do at this club, which is what I say every player needs to do, not just Mason, not just Havertz. And I keep bringing up these players, I'm sorry, but those are the most relevant players, right? And he gets there. He proves that he deserves to play, like Broja has shown in previous matches, right? And he earns a spot in the starting lineup. Now, there's competition for Fofana. Is he better than Fofana? I'm not going to say yes or no. We'll see. But there's potential there. And he gives Fofana a run for his money. We have a solid backup for Fofana, in my opinion. Good on Chalobah. He deserves it. Hopefully you guys agree. Actually, let's see. You guys have a poll here. 34 of you voted, and 88% of you said yes. Chalobah, you guys are happy with Chalobah resigning, and I'm happy to hear that. But all right, let's go ahead and get you guys in here. Oliver, first time appearance on the show. Big up to you, brother. Welcome, Oliver. Big avid participant in Discord. Love to see him. But
yeah, thanks for having me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, man. You sound great.
Nice. Great.
What are you saying about any and all the topics or whatever topics we talked about today? Anything in particular that stands out to you?
Well, it's been a bit of a slow news time recently, with the World Cup.
Yeah. World Cup's been taking over.
We're not getting too much through. And, I saw Chalobah re-signed in the week and came as quite a surprise considering it was only a year ago that he got his first team contract on 5 years. So the fact that he's getting a new one just goes to show that, he's been on a very good path in terms of his development and just the way he stood out in this team as a first teamer, only being his first year in. I couldn't be happier for him.
Yeah, I think he deserves it, man. He's been playing really well. I know people are going to say, oh, he has mistakes in him, but come on, guys. Every player has a mistake in them. There's no player, even goalkeepers. That's the argument that I hear with the goalkeepers, too. Oh, there's a mistake in them, all that and stuff. Look, every player is bound to have a lapse in concentration and have a mistake. It happens.
And
for Chalobah,
There is some context to that as well, because the team for the team for the last year, because not only is Chalobah a young player, but the team in the last year has been incredibly dysfunctional. You know, he is definitely not the only guilty party in this team. He's not the one single-handedly losing us games or whatever. The whole team's been a mess. So to pin it all on him is quite irrational, in my opinion.
I think it's unfair. And like I said, like every player has a mistake in him. And there's also context, like you say. It also depends on the type of mistake that we're making, right? Because like there's mistakes like maybe misreading the hop on the ball or the bounce on the ball or heading it out directly in front of a player like that. And then there's a mistake like Andreas Christensen against Liverpool at the beginning of last season. That's just like a completely stupid mistake to make, you know, and turning the completely losing. At that point, I think we lost the game. That wasn't last season. That was 2 seasons ago, right?
It was Lampard.
It was 2 seasons. Yeah, it was Lampard. Yeah, 2 seasons ago. Sorry, but it's just like that's a stupid mistake. Changes the tide of the game. Arguably, we lose because of that, because now we're 10 men down, like at the second half. So it's like there's context to what kind of mistakes he's making.
But
and
Chalobah, we've seen Chalobah step up in FA Cup, Carabao Cup finals,
and huge
in Super Cup finals. You know.
Huge games against big time players like Mane, for example.
If he does make mistakes, he definitely doesn't save it for the big occasion.
So like big up to him. I mean, he has the ability to score goals as well. We've seen him score some goals for Chelsea already. Great passing ability, great vision. You know, he's very solid, and I'm very excited to see the potential of this player.
I do find that the aspect as well. I think you mentioned it earlier. He can play in midfield. That is something that hopefully we do explore, because you know we do have an array of versatile players.
Didn't he play a game in the preseason as a DM? I think he did.
In the I don't remember the preseason. I feel he played centre back in the preseason, but last season when we played Wolves in December, when we got hit by COVID, he did actually play DM in that game, but then he got taken off injured.
Yes.
It was an injury crisis though, and COVID and all that. So yeah,
this comment is fantastic. But yeah, like I said, context does matter. Andreas played a back pass last season.
Hey, listen,
giving him a career.
Christensen made them pay him 100k per week. We win.
There you go.
he's on a big contract now. We win.
There you go. But
even though they're top of the league.
Arsenal? Wait.
Arsenal.
Wait, Nketiah isn't at Arsenal anymore, right?
He is, yeah. He's the backup to Jesus.
Oh, right, and he's a bench player and everything. Okay, I see what you're saying now. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this Chalobah contract. Would you say actually let me ask this, and let me ask you guys in the chat as well. Let me hear your opinions on this, but would you say that arguably, based on the performances that we've seen so far, the average, performances that we've seen so far, would you say that Fofana hasn't been nearly as good as Chalobah from what we've seen?
I think looking at the actual performances themselves, from what we've actually seen, yes, Chalobah has been better this season than Fofana. There is also, again, because context to everything, Fofana is joining a new club. He is a young player himself, and last season he came off a horrible leg break, so he's finding it difficult himself. Yeah. And it's just great. I just see it as it's great that we've got 2 good prospects and
good competition. It's absolutely amazing competition. And again, this is a big plus. I don't think people understand how big of a plus this is. They're both learning on the Thiago Silva. Like,
we got him.
You can't sit here and tell me that Thiago Silva doesn't have a huge influence on these defenders. You can't sit here and tell me that ever since Thiago Silva's come to this club, a lot of our defenders have improved drastically. Look at how Rudiger basically resurrected his Chelsea career. And Andreas Christensen too.
And you'd hope that we've got Koulibaly as well, and granted he has been,
I hope he steps up.
He has been disappointing, but he definitely has his experiences to pass on to these young boys, and with that, hopefully the whole team flourishes and we become more solid as a defensive unit, because that has been a big problem this season.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, there is context to the whole Chalobah and Fofana comparison. Obviously, I'm not going to say flat out that, like, Chalobah's clear of Fofana. No. I think both of them are really good, really good defenders. I would argue that maybe Fofana is the better defender just because that, not this season. I just mean in general, just because like I feel like Fofana has had a lot more playing time in that center back position than Chalobah. I think Chalobah only just started playing that position last season for Chelsea, and Fofana's been playing it at Leicester since 2 seasons ago now, and I think he also plays it in France. So this kid, you know, I forgot to bring this up. This kid needs to be brought up to the national team already.
Oh
he
yeah,
he needs to get his call up. Is the fact that Southgate hasn't done it already is baffling, and I really hope that if the rumors are true and Tuchel does take over England after this World Cup, look, call up Chalobah, and I mean I'll make the argument for Fikayo Tomori. Call both these players up. Ben White Ben White's been called up, but he should be starting.
Yeah, I'm sure. Chalobah will get a better chance under Tuchel. I just can't wait for the rivals to all come out and say, "Oh, you know, Tuchel with his Chelsea bias at England."
Oh, this is okay. The only thing Fofana has over Trevor is recovery pace, and that is pushing it. Yeah,
Trevor's fast. Yeah. Trevor's
pretty fast. Yeah, Trevor's pretty fast.
I wouldn't call it a problem.
Yeah, I think it's nice to see that there is competition. It's nice to see that this kid is playing well and he's making a name for himself. Look, I'm not all about Cobham and like, oh, we have to, you know, just trust in the youth and all that stuff. If these players get their opportunity and they prove themselves consistently, I have no problem whatsoever with them being in the squad. Them, like, look at Reece James. You know, Reece James has proven, like, his first season under Lampard, he was a little shaky, and then the second season, he stepped up majorly from the first game. Arguably, he stepped up, scored a goal against Brighton. You know, he really stepped up and really solidified his position in that right back position. And Chalobah could probably do the same.
Yeah, the thing I love about it is, like you said there, he's taking his opportunities, but there's also been there's been a heavy degree as well of being patient and waiting for that opportunity. Because you got to think when Chalobah came in, we were looking to buy Jules Koundé in 2021. And obviously this season we bought Fofana. We actually went through with that, and he could have been on loan, as we said before. So for him to have the mentality to stick it out, where we've seen other academy players, Livramento and a bunch of others.
These players that didn't want to stick around, they wanted a guaranteed playing time.
Yep. We have one right here who is willing to be patient and willing to know his role and just be humble. That's the least we can ask for. These are young players. We need them to know their place for a certain.
And I would argue this is how it should be done most of the time. Like, honestly, like, obviously, there's certain circumstances in which this actually ended up working out. I think the current state of Chelsea allows itself to let players like this come up. Normally, there would be a much higher standard, and Chalobah would be within his own right to question whether or not he's going to have a future at the club and all that stuff because there's good quality. But right now, that there's not good quality, and we need people to step up. Look at this comment here. Horrible news. Oh, my days. Anyways, people have dead opinions. That's why I don't have a Twitter, guys. Anyways, so, but like, it's like, where the state of the club is right now, the quality's a little low, and we need people to step up. For someone like him to step up, it just respect. This guy, for me, and I hate to bring it up, but this is the only obvious comparison that I have right now. Has more respect from me than a Mason Mount would. To be fair, I think he's proven a lot more in his time than someone like Minerals. Just call him that.
It's been a lot harder for Chalobah to get in as well because Lampard was operating under the transfer ban conditions where he was unable to make a midfield signing. Chalobah was literally brought in the midst of the Jules Koundé saga. So for him to impress Tuchel like that, it's got to say something about the way he's been performing.
It has to say something about the way he's performing. I'll ask you this before I decide if I'm going to end it or not. How you feel about the whole Ziyech thing? I mean, I guess we all knew he was going to leave, but in the chance that I don't know, maybe he can't find a club, or he decides that, look, I had a good World Cup performance. I doubt this, but this is just me being kind of a little hopeful because I like Ziyech. I had a good World Cup performance. Hopefully the manager sees it, and hopefully I've proven that I should be playing over these players. And he decides to stick it out with Chelsea. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Well, for me, that's up to Potter first, because he's the guy picking the lineups, and he's the one that's seeing the performances week in, week out of your Mason Mount, your Kai Havertz's, who have been disappointing. It's up to him to bring in your Pulisic and Ziyech's, and let them know that there is a pathway into the team, because I feel like that just hasn't been made too obvious. And with that, if effort isn't rewarded, the effort will stop. And it's not a thing where you have a bad attitude. It's subconscious. So you need to be giving the right messages to your players, your Pulisic and your Ziyech's. If you don't do that, then it's just not going to end well for anybody, because they're going to be annoyed and the team's not going to be playing well. So I put it mostly on Potter. If you're asking me whether I'd like to keep him in the long term, no, but I would keep him until the summer, because we do not have a right winger, and Ziyech doesn't even start. That's the crazy thing. We don't have a right. He's our only right winger, and he doesn't even start. So I'm not going to be the guy celebrating if we go down to 0 right wingers and we have to play Gallagher there. That's not a long term solution.
You know what? I didn't even deep that. I know he's a right winger, but now that I think about it, if he goes, we don't have right wingers.
We'll be playing Gallagher there like we did against Newcastle.
Oh my days!
Take me back.
So maybe there's an argument for him to stay. But he wouldn't even play. That's the thing. Like, if it was me, if I was Potter, I would play this guy. I would also play Pulisic, because I think me and you agree on this. Both of those players probably deserve to play more than Havertz and Mount.
Yeah.
Maybe you could even put in, they probably deserve to play more than Gallagher. I don't know. Gallagher, I feel like he's been okay. I don't think he's been bad. But like, I would be playing these guys, and I would keep them.
I think
at
you
least
can throw
until the end of the
Sterling in
summer.
there as well. You can throw Sterling.
Oh,
in there.
Sterling, obviously.
He's not been great
Sterling
either.
can play the right. I mean,
No.
Sterling.
I'm saying Ziyech and Pulisic can play instead of Sterling, because Sterling's not been on the greatest of form himself.
But now that I think about it, Sterling could play the right, but you don't want to play him in the right. You want to play him in the left, and you want to play someone else in the right. And that's the other thing too. That's been like, there's been like this, obviously in the summer, or even now as Potter, who is starting to get to know the players and experiment a little and figure out what combinations work and what combinations don't. You would think, like, Potter, try Ziyech with Sterling. Try Ziyech with Pulisic. Try these combinations with your formations and see how they work towards what you want to do. I don't understand why he hasn't even tried it.
This is why I was incredibly annoyed at the who do we play? It was the Dead Rubber, wasn't it? I can't remember what the team was. No, I can't remember. But anyway, we had a Dead Rubber in the Champions League, and he played a starting lineup. It's like, that's the game to experiment in. And
it was the Dinamo game.
Yes,
Zagreb game.
Yeah,
where we didn't
it was
need a
Zagreb.
result.
Yes, he played a full strength starting lineup in that game, and it completely backfired. And then we rotated against City in the cup, and Pulisic and Ziyech looked okay in that game. So
yeah, they did look okay.
You've got to go off that and say, okay, you've played well. I need to give you the right messages, and let you know that you have a pathway into the team. So here you go and start the Newcastle game. That didn't happen for whatever reason, so here we are.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. The Newcastle game, that we all already criticized him on that lineup.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, listen. Well, let me just respond to this comment real quick. Ziyech is Lukaku's best friend in Chelsea, so we don't need that type of vibe in our dressing room for Ziyech or his mate. Yeah, I get where you're coming from, Salefa, but at the same time, I feel like Ziyech has been maintaining a certain level of professionalism within the club and maintaining good relationships with the squad as well. I think Lukaku, to a certain extent, also maintained good relationship with the squad, but he was just taking matters into his own hands, going to journalists and really trying to force a move. I don't think Ziyech has been trying to force a move.
I don't know if Lukaku kept the best of relations, because wasn't there reports saying
Actually,
that he was? There were reports saying, oh, he's teaching. He's kind of like.
oh, true.
giving him the
You're
figures.
right. You're
He's
right.
teaching
Yeah,
him
that's
how to
true.
shoot and all that.
Yeah,
and
he had the whole. I mean,
But I
you
think
kind of need to teach
it's
some
a
of
very
this.
simplistic way to look at it, because just because Ziyech
Yeah.
is a friend of Lukaku, that doesn't mean Ziyech
Yeah.
equals Lukaku.
I mean, I get where he's coming from too, because remember that game after the Leeds game, Ziyech took a plane to Ajax right afterwards. I think he even left early. That was probably the biggest thing he did that I was like, what the fuck are we doing here, Ziyech? But also the manager had to have known. Like, I don't know. That was a weird what happened there.
There were reports that, Tuchel segregated the dressing room and made the list of people that wanted to stay and made the list of people that wanted to leave, and he started starting the ones that wanted to leave.
That's
so,
odd.
People want to reminisce on Tuchel, and that's fine, because there were great moments. He wasn't perfect.
No, he wasn't.
He
wasn't.
There's a lot more to it than just Ziyech wanting to go to Ajax.
Yeah.
But no, Ziyech, just because Ziyech is friends with Lukaku, that doesn't mean Ziyech equals Lukaku. Like, the way I look at it is, Courtois. Courtois left the club in a bad way.
And Hazard,
he's mates with Hazard. So, but where was the same energy? Just because Hazard plays well, they forget about that.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. But I think in the future, maybe the very soon future, we might have an honest discussion about Thomas Tuchel on the channel. We'll see. I think that'll be a very interesting topic. We'll get a whole panel here going for it, and we'll discuss it out, because the thread that you sent on a Discord had my gears turning a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, despite not liking some of the comments. But
I didn't like.
That's
all
for us
of it.
discussing it. Yeah,
I didn't like all of it. I just think there's some interesting points, and I think.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting points there.
It would be interesting to get everyone together for that, because, as time goes on, people are.
I think there's a discussion to be had. 100%. There's a discussion to be had about Thomas Tuchel.
Like, if you're going to do it the day after he got sacked, everyone's going to be all up in their feelings. Whereas,
yeah, that would have gone down so bad.
Give it a bit
Smash
of time.
the dislike button.
Give it a bit of time, and people will start to come back down to earth, and we can have a fair discussion about it.
Again, looking at the bigger picture, right? Not just like the end result or the beginning result or just the Champions Leagues and all that shit. Looking at the big picture and seeing some of the details that happened throughout that. There's a lot to be said about Thomas Tuchel, so I might do that video sooner than later. We'll see.
I feel like there's a lot more information out about the way it went as well, so we have more facts and more to talk about.
100%. But I think we'll be back tomorrow, guys, to do a little bit of roundup of all the Chelsea players that played in the World Cup this past week. Match week 2 ends tomorrow after the. Who plays tomorrow? Who's the last game tomorrow? The last game tomorrow is Uruguay-Portugal.
Yes.
Yeah. So after the Uruguay-Portugal game, we'll probably be back here at 10 o'clock UK time, 5 o'clock US time to discuss everything that we saw and the second week of match week in the World Cup, which, by the way, I'm not going to lie. I might be getting ahead of myself, but so far, I'm going to say right now, yeah, we do need to talk about real Chris. So far, I'm going to say right now that this World Cup group stage, at least, has been probably the most entertaining group stages that I have seen in a very, very, very long time. I've been very thoroughly entertained by this World Cup group stage. Andrew, welcome to
Too many nil-nils at the same time, though.
Welcome to the stream, Andrew. And Andrew got a haircut. Let's go. Round of applause for Andrew's haircut.
I did promise that next time I was on, my hair would be
looks good, man.
Looking, yeah.
Trampish looking. I was just saying that I think tomorrow we'll do another stream to do the a little bit of a rundown of all the Chelsea players that played in match week 2, and I think, dude, this World Cup's been really entertaining so far. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but so far the only team that's qualified to the next round has been France. Everything is still up in the air, and everything is still very much doable. And I think Canada's the only team that's been eliminated, and Qatar.
Yeah, Qatar. I think Canada. No, Canada aren't.
Canada's done.
Are they officially out? Or?
I think Canada's officially done because I'm looking at the group.
I'll have a look.
I think Canada. Canada has 0 points.
It had to
Yeah.
be.
And
it had to be.
and Croatia has 4 and Morocco has 4.
they
Yeah.
are. They've got
It's
6,
over.
yeah,
Yeah.
Big up Morocco, by the way, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. But I guess Andrew, since you're here, give us your words on the whole Chalobah. Chalobah? Why not? Trevor Chalobah. Pulisic and Trevoh Chalobah. I've had howlers today with my language. Chalobah contract. Even though he signed a contract last season, he got a new contract this season. It's a better one, maybe better wages. I don't know the details. I don't know if you do,
Probably
but
so, yeah.
No, I don't know.
What do you think, man?
I presume it would be a wage increase. It's
Yeah.
2028. Yeah. It came out of nowhere, really, because, like I said, he signed.
Yeah,
on
it really
last
did.
year, So
Isn't it? There's a +1 as well, isn't it? They
yeah,
have a
6 years plus an additional year.
yeah. So they could
Going
take it
for.
to 2029 exactly.
Yeah, which is what they're going for.
Yeah.
It is an investment, obviously. They want to keep their young stars, including Mount. Before anyone says anything, they want to keep Mount as well, no matter what people think. They do
Yeah,
want to
I've tried to not talk about Mount this thing. It's hard
No.
not to, but it is.
No, but again, you've seen it with Reece, seen it with Trevor, seen it with Broha, who's signing a new contract, even though he signed one last year, like a 4-year work it's going. Yeah, it's something that they're doing. They're taking sort of the American sports strategy of investing long term. Whether it pays off or not, I don't know. But what it does mean is for the club, they don't really have to start negotiating until 4 or 5 years into the new deal. 4 years into the new deal.
Yeah.
Which helps them. No matter what they're at, no matter what they do, you can always say, well, they could try and negotiate if they do play like a couple of years in and something like that. But yeah, I think it's what they're trying to do. They're trying to tie what they feel is the young core of this squad down to multiple years. They want to try and build around this young core as quickly as possible, hopefully, and surround them with better players and better talent. So seeing
I rate it.
Yeah, you could probably see. I mean, who else is up? I can't think of who else is up for a contract at the moment. But yeah, we're going to see that. The tying people down, and yeah, I think it's good. I'm happy with Trevoh Chalobah. I see him progressing well.
I think he deserves it, right?
Yeah, I see him progressing well. Second full season at Chelsea first team. So I see it's a good thing. And okay, if he doesn't turn out well in 2-3 years' time, you can still get you're going to get a profit on him no matter what if they decide to sell him because he was free. Yeah. So you know what I mean? It's
true.
You're going to get a profit on him no matter what, and he's English premium. So, but hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, I was quite fine. I was happy with it. It came out of nowhere, which was nice. So
the way I see it is, as long as we give ourselves the ability to make a profit on them, because if we put Mount on 300k per week and he doesn't develop the consistency that warrants that kind of wage, we can't move him on, and then it ruins our negotiation strategies for the next 7 years. We have to give ourselves the ability to move on, and I don't think Chalobah's asked for a massive wage. I sincerely doubt that, but we've got to be sensible with the guys like Mount.
Mount was not underpaid. He's on 88 grand a week.
I will say this on the wages, the Mount wages, okay, and this is where I'll leave it at. I'm not trying to get into this topic. I think you guys have enough Mount on your timeline and on other channels to leave you content. I'm actually quite tired of talking about this kid. Okay, I'm at the point where he can just leave Chelsea because I'm so sick and tired of it being Mason Mount Football Club and not Chelsea Football Club. It's ridiculous now. So with the Mount thing, at his current wages, I believe he is being a little underpaid. He deserves to get paid a little more. Now, does he deserve 300k a week? Absolutely fucking not. Does Raheem Sterling deserve 300k a week? You could make the argument for it because Raheem Sterling has won multiple leagues with Man City, and at one point he was a top goal scorer. I think. Was he actually ever the top goal scorer for the Premier League? Did he ever beat Salah and Hazard?
I don't think he was, but he's Man City.
He was up there, right?
Still some insane numbers.
Yeah, he's thrown up insane numbers. This guy is a vet of the game. He's done it. He's done really well with England as well. He's earned the the consideration of at least being paid 300K. You could even argue the same thing for Romelu Lukaku, even though we got stiffed on that one for sure. But Lukaku
totally.
has had experience in the international level, record-breaking numbers at the international level as well, and really good numbers under Inter Milan that season before we got him. So you could make the argument, and same thing for Aubameyang as well. Like, you can make those arguments. Mason Mount, he's still too young to have done those things. He's not just generational player that people keep saying he is, that Minerals keep saying he is. We look at the previous numbers of previous Chelsea teams, and the standard has dropped considerably. Now, yes, most GA last season. He wasn't a top goal scorer. Top goal scorer was Romelu Lukaku. Let's have it right, okay? Unfortunately, but it's those numbers are so less than half of what the numbers we used to put up when we were at our best at Chelsea. We are not at the best at Chelsea right now. Not with Mason Mount.
Oh no,
it's just it is what it is. Does he deserve the 70, 80K he's on right now? Not at all. He deserves to be paid more. But he turned down 200K. If that's true, I don't know. I personally just don't think he deserves more than Reece James based on the performances and the context to it. Yes, he got great GA last year, but again, you look at the whole picture, you look at the details in the pictures, you look at what games he scored it under. Where it was like, 5 goals under Norwich? That's already half of your goals under one team. Like, and then the other assists, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't perform under big teams. There was that stat earlier.
4 goals or for some like 4 GNA and 4
probably less.
Yeah, something in big games or something like that. Like, it's not a big number.
GNA, I think it's 4 GNA in 44 games.
In the past,
in the big
that's not good. That's not good. That's where you want these players to step up. That's where Mata would step up. That's where Torres would step up. Like all these players that we talked about in the past. We're not seeing it with Mount. And look, that's not to say Mount's a bad player. I think Mount's a good player. I think he's just...
It's not how Mount should be assessed. I mean, he's playing in the attacking line, but it's out of position. And you know, like I said, at the end of the day, like I've always said, it's up to the club. They just have to be sensible with it.
It's up to him.
The club need to be sensible, and they need to leave themselves out or not take too much of a risk on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they see him?
I would even argue with Mason too. Like, I don't see Reece James getting as much publicity and being in as much billboards and as much commercials and much all this stuff than Mason Mount has been. And I don't know if that's on purpose or if that's like a player's choice, but that right there tells me a lot as well about the ego thing. And I don't know, it's making me change. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. It's making me change my opinion on Mason and just how seriously he actually not takes training, but takes, I guess, the criticism and I guess his weaknesses and working on them. So
this is what
I don't know.
I'm just not convinced. In 3 years' time, I'm going to see a 300K a week player. I'm not convinced.
Me neither.
But Marshall,
doesn't mean he doesn't have a purpose in this squad. He does. And when I say I want it to be, I sort of compare it to Milner. It's not Milner now.
Yeah,
it's Milner at City. Yeah, it's Milner at Villa. That type of player who came in and started a lot, but was a functional part of the squad who contributed. Wasn't seen as the main man to do everything. Do you know what I mean?
But he was effective.
He was effective. He was beautifully effective, and he was appreciated. Underappreciated in terms. So not Milner now, not Henderson now. Their career, and I think that's fine. I don't see why
I think it's fine. I think it's very respectable, to be honest.
Yeah,
like I don't understand this slander on Mason Milner. Wow.
When you say Milner, people think of Milner.
Yeah, and it's even Milner now. You would argue like he does a shift for Liverpool,
right.
But at his prime. Respect Mason Milner. I almost said it again. Respect James Milner, man. James Milner at his prime was a really, really good player. Really good player. Like I would take him at Chelsea back then, even like as a like utility player. He was good.
Very good player.
Very good player. But I don't want him to stay like a James Milner type of player. I want him to be this Lampard-esque player that everyone wants him to be. Like, I'm not gonna fucking say Johan Cruyff, but like I want him to have the same impact that like a Scholes used to have for their team. I do. I want them to be like these players.
This is, and this might be unfair because of the team Lampard was in. But the stats, and I did it. The stats show that for the next 8 to 10 seasons, he has to average 32 GNA.
Well, he's already failed this season.
But he's got, I know, but he's got to average. This isn't even to get 32 GNA, it's to average.
Yeah.
8 to 10 seasons. Because that's when Lampard exploded after his third season, from his third season with us. From his third season with us, that's when that was when the money came in. That was the Ranieri year. That was his third season with us, and he went on a tear. Okay, for the next 8 to 10 seasons.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I want to see the Lampard comparisons after this season, not the fucking the ones that keep getting pulled out right now, which are like there's a lot of
I want to see
disillusiveness with that.
I want to see when this squad is properly, hopefully renovated properly.
Yeah. And I'm liking where it's going with the youth.
Let's see who reacts best.
Yeah.
Who can hang with the best, because that will tell me a lot. If he comes in and he does a job, then fine. But I just don't see. I'm sorry. I know it's not my money and everything like that, but I'm just putting myself in that position, going, is he really worth 300k a week? I don't see it. I just don't see it. I keep like you're getting now journalists bigging him up for running around on a football pitch and for closing
his
down.
hidden stats.
Yeah, this closing down stat. So what are we doing here? I'm not paying someone 300k a week to run around. That's the bare minimum requirement to do. You want to look at. I don't look at stats, but you want to look at. They brought up the Mason Mount stats against Iran, like 100% when he had 1 of 1. Look at Kovacic's stats today. I know it's against Canada. Look at that. Look at all those stats. It's multiple things in multiple areas that he did today. Yeah. So, listen, it's not a listen. I don't dislike Mason Mount or hate him, because hate's a strong thing to say. You hate someone's got to do something really bad for me to hate them. Yeah. But let's think logically and go, does Mason Mount get into every team? Like when I think of Reece James, does he go into every team in the world? Yes, he goes into every team in the world. Liverpool fans may say, "Oh, we got Trent. He's better than Trent."
Yeah,
he's better than Trent as an all-round player.
Why is it still an argument?
But when I think of Mount, every manager will like him. Yeah, and well, why is every manager?
Sure.
Why is every manager at Chelsea picked him? Why are we on? And this isn't down to Mount, solely down to Mount. Why are we on our third manager?
And Southgate lost the Euro final.
Yeah, and lost us the League Cup final. You know what I mean? That's just it's like, and don't tell me about clutch either. Do not tell me this guy's clutch. Okay, he's not clutch. You don't know me in a world clutch. The clutch is reserved to significant players. The only player I can think is really clutch all the time is Didier Drogba. Okay, he was clutch when you needed him to be clutch. That's when I need you to be clutch.
Yeah,
and that's not
let's
fair.
Not forget about our friend here. But
he sat on the bench when his country needed him. But I don't think. What I think is, it's like I think it's inevitable he will sign a new contract. I think it's inevitable he will.
Yeah.
Like I think it's inevitable that Declan Rice is coming in. I'm fine with that. It's just always been the price. But I just think, I really hope because I want him to succeed. It's my team. Why would I want him to fail?
Yeah, of course.
I don't get. It's like, you're in the mud. Like today, you're in the mud because Ziyech scored. Well, first of all, that's fine. It's one game, so you're getting hyped up in one game. But if Ziyech scores for my club, and in a good way, I'm ecstatic. I'm happy. I want everyone to succeed.
You were happy last season when he was doing it.
Yeah, he did against Spurs.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. But Mason Mount scores. I don't sit there and go, amazing goal. Mason Mount scored. Damn.
I mean, hey, look, Oliver as my witness. The celebrations that I do for any player that scores, whatever agenda the fans might think I have.
Oh, we're all happy.
I give it up for everyone. I give it up for everyone. I get so hyped.
Listen, my thing about my views on Alonso. But when he scored that disallowed
goal,
when he scored that disallowed goal at the Bernabeu, I went mad. Mad.
And listen, if anyone watching the video right now doesn't want to take our word for it, then the link to the Discord is in the description for you to come see for yourself.
Come hang out. Next game when Mason Mount scores a hat trick, see how fucking loud I scream.
Yeah, exactly.
See how much I celebrate. Well, we'll see if he does. Hopefully he does.
I hate talking about Mount. I want him to succeed.
I do.
I hate talking about him. That's the bit I do.
I hate
talking
that
about
he's
him a lot.
becoming the center of Chelsea. Like
Exactly.
I really do.
It's
Like
wrong.
it's really fucking frustrating because it's
wrong.
like we can't even talk about Chelsea without talking about Mason Mount now, and it's just like he's not even like he's just been not. It's not like it's even a good thing. Like it's not like Lampard, like, oh, you can't talk about Chelsea without talking about Lampard. And we could talk about Lampard all day because Lampard was amazing. The impact he would have, all the goals and all that stuff. It's great to talk about fucking Lampard. You talk about Mason Mount this season, it's like, well, he had that AC Milan game and then the Wolves and then
Villa game and that's it. Yeah. And that's it.
Oh yeah, the Villa game. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So I can count on my hand how many times, you know, it's like, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. And it's just like, I want the player to succeed at the club, but I've kept this position consistently now. If he stays or goes, I could give less of a shit at this point because I've just I'm so tired of the fan base just either loving or hating him and not having a grounded opinion on him. And I hate him being the center of attention. And I just don't think he's ready to be like the elite Chelsea level that we're used to. I really think, and Ms pointed this out multiple times, you put him in that old Chelsea squad, he doesn't start. Yeah. He doesn't start. Like he doesn't start in Conte's Chelsea. He doesn't start in oh my days, Jose's Chelsea. He doesn't start in why am I blanking? Real Madrid's manager. How am I blanking out his name? And he doesn't start in Ancelotti's Chelsea. So it's just like, I don't know. We can't have a grounded opinion on that.
If I may bring it back to a point you said earlier, you were talking about questioning like the attitude to criticism, and this is what I was saying earlier about the manager sending the right messages. You have to drop the player at the right time when they don't deserve to be playing. So again, the subconscious takes over. If you're getting constantly rewarded for mid to poor performances, then you're not going to try and improve, and that's not the player's fault. That's
there could be a layer of complacency in that. And same thing goes for Havertz, even though, like, in my opinion, Havertz has improved slightly since the beginning of the season, but still not enough for me. Still not enough for me. Listen, Andrew, he's been more involved than he was in the beginning of the season. You can at least admit that, which is not much. It's not, it's a low bar. I know, it's a very low bar.
You're right. He has been involved, and he's done sweet FA. I wanted to say something. I wanted to do the whole thing, but you're right. He's been involved. That's great. Be involved.
Sure. We'll get a trophy for that at the end of the season.
Be involved,
Participation trophy at the end of the season for Kai Havertz. There you go. Oh my God.
You did so good. You finished 7th out of 8 people. So good.
And you know what? They'll give it to Mason and Havertz at the same time. Just one trophy. You guys can share this, the Chuko brothers. Jesus Christ. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully Havertz turns it around and scores a bunch of goals towards the end of the season, like he did last season.
Totally.
Hopefully. At least get over 10 goals, Havertz, please. But anyways. In the league. Yes, in the league.
Bollocks.
No, it's just in the league. Just steep task as things go.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, man.
We're nearly halfway through the season already, and it's like, what? To be fair, he's our top goal scorer in the Premier League, 3. But yeah, I mean,
oh man.
Yeah, the bar's in hell. It is in hell.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about World Cup tomorrow. That's all I'm saying right now. The fact we're talking about Chelsea right now, it's a little painful. But ladies and gents, we're gonna call it right here. Thank you so much for coming in and being a part of the live stream. Make sure you're smashing the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Check out the links in the description. Come join the Discord, be part of the community. We have an awesome active community right there. Big up to Andrew, big up to Alex, big up to Carlito, everyone that showed up. Oliver, thank you for calling in as well. And guys, we'll see you again tomorrow after the I just said this game, after the Portugal and Uruguay game, and we'll talk about the Chelsea players abroad. But yeah, tune in for that, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 UK time for that video. But till then, you guys stay casual. Peace out.